Hello, friends. Good evening. I'm Major Mohammed Ali Shah, and I am very, very honored, overwhelmed, rather, I would say, to welcome a former Army commander, Northern Command, one of the most illustrious generals of the Indian Army, and I've been very, very fortunate to have served when General Jaswal was the Div commander in Aknoor in 10 Div, when I was a young lieutenant. General Jaswal has had a wide experience in the valley. He knows the valley back of his hand. In fact, by valley, the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir. He has been a company commander there. He's been a battalion commander over there. He has commanded a division there. He's been chief of staff over there. He has been the army commander there. You can't have a better experienced person, a better hand at the entire state of Jammu and Kashmir. And today we are going to be talking about why and what is happening, what's triggering. There was peace for quite some time, and now suddenly after 20th April, when an army heavy vehicle was ambushed, when we lost five of our brave hearts, again today we had again an ambush in Rajouri sector, and where a few we lost a few of our paratroopers, and we will actually come to brass tacks. We will discuss with the general what actually the issue is, and as per his perception, how it can be resolved. Sir, thank you very much, and Jai Hind, sir. Thank you very much for sparing time, sir.
Jai Hind.
Sir, what an honor, sir. I'm truly overwhelmed, and the memories I have of you as a young lieutenant, full of josh and vigor, operating in Aknoor. And that time, Aknoor was a hotbed. And you being the division commander, we remember your addresses. We remember आप वाकई में sir हम सब में जोश भर दिया करते थे sir when you used to address us, sir. Sir, would like to understand your experience in the valley has been so vast, and how was it as a company commander? How was it as a battalion commander, and how things have changed over the years for you, sir?
Firstly, I would like to pay my tributes and salutations to our martyrs uh, today and just a few days back. All our soldiers, they take pride in laying down their lives under the Indian flag, and I think it's a matter of honor. And I feel extremely glad, Ali, to be talking to you face to face after so many years. And of course, your father was, I'm from the same squadron. He was my CSM, and I did front roll a lot, under him. So I have very fond memories of your family and you, and I could see the future in you that time. You asked a very deep question. How did I read? How have I read, rather, J&K from Major till Army Commander? Let me clarify. At every rank, your perception lines are there. The depth of the perception line. You can think up to a point. Like, for instance, we say that the tactical level is up to the divisional commander. Then is the operational level is corps commander, and the strategic level is the army commander. Now that is for the as far as the operational nuances are concerned. But if you ask me about the changing facet of J&K, as a company commander, I was again deployed part of the division which I commanded right ahead, Chakla. I found it slightly different. While the LC was not hot. As a battalion commander, it was peak insurgency at that time. I wouldn't like to give the location, but we had many heavy encounters. Actually, the first one was in our battalion, and fortunately, we had minimum casualties throughout the tenure over there. The whole changing scenario in the valley took place on account of vitiating of the minds of the populace over there. Let me go back in time, even in 47, as also in 65, the Pakistanis' assumption was that the local population of Kashmir will support them. They did not. They did not support. the Pakistanis. What I'm trying to get at is that it is not that the Kashmiri or the Kashmiri uh, population out there, the Kashmiri Muslims or Kashmiri, some of the protagonists of the thought that Kashmir should have gone to Pakistan, all of them are bad? No, no way. They're very good people over there. But then when you launch a psychological campaign, which becomes an instrument of your state policy, which Pakistan has made, then you can penetrate the minds. That's why I remember in 1990, when I was in February, when I was going to take over the battalion, the moment I crossed Banihal, I could see Pakistani flags on every house. And the
Oh God.
population is to look at us and spit at us. Because the fervor within had been hyped to a degree that you will get freedom or you will become part of Pakistan. So by that time, the people, their minds had been vitiated. The psychological impact was such that people were prepared to sacrifice their lives, fully well knowing that they may get killed and they may go to Jannat. This is how they play with the terrorists. Slowly, the arc of terrorism that started spreading south of Pir Panjal in 2000s beginning. Now, all this had been done under Optopaz by Ziaul Haq. And in that, this was to be done in stages, and that's what he was doing. How to block the Bunny Hall. And that's why the entire psyche of the people was changing, the actions were changing, the forms of, I'll call terrorism, they were changing. All along, what I felt, and as an army commander, I did stress on this, it is not a military problem. It is a political, diplomatic, military problem, wherein the military comes in to create a conducive environment for good governance. And thereafter, the diplomatic level, they're supposed to create an environment for the political process to go on. So I did see the change from that level when there was nothing, except that some of the people used to always believe when they crossed Madhopur, they would say, "हम हिंदुस्तान जा रहे हैं," और वापस आते वक्त they would say, "हम अपने वतन वापस आ रहे हैं." So some people were there, but they were not that hardened. But slowly, then there was a change in between 97, 98 or so, uh, when the elections were rigged. That triggered the peak of insurgency. That's when people, because I believe it was rigged. So you understand the political importance, the political dealing in J&K, how important it is. So, as on date, if I have to look at it, people are getting convinced there is no point pursuing this policy of Pakistan and being used as cannon fodder for their own gain. People have come to know the stark reality, what is going on in Pakistan. So they are shunning terrorism. But since Pakistan was being put on the FATF list, to offset that, they created monsters like Burhan Wani, like the TRF, and latest as PAF, the People's Anti-Fascist Forces, which has been created to tell the world, sorry, we are not doing anything. It is a homegrown terrorism. And some of the people, they have joined the TRF and the PAF. Some of the leadership also is being provided by Pakistan. So the Pakistan involvement is there. This is an unfinished agenda, instrument of the state policy, and they openly want to keep it alive. And they want to play the holy cow. Sorry, we are not doing anything at all. It is the people of Kashmir who are doing it. So they will continue despite being punished directly, indirectly by us and the world, but they fail to understand. So this is the wholesome scenario. And another thing which I would like to mention over here, uh, we were not that aggressive in our approach earlier, but I'm very glad three, four things have happened which are very aggressive, and it gives a good lesson to Pakistan and a message to the world also. Firstly, we removed Article 370. No one believed it. And they are rattled. Pakistan is rattled. So we have taken aggressive action. Earlier, we used to defend. No, Kashmir to hamara hai. Why were we not saying right valuable service? I used to say, why don't we say that POK hamara hame wapas kijiye aap? Why are we defending which is already ours? So you see there is a change in our dealing also, psyche also, and the present G20, you've seen Bilawal and our external affairs minister, Jaswal, fantastic. The way he sent across the message in a very indirect form. So we have become aggressive in our approach. Politically, all those people who were evoking that feeling, they have been marginalized. Hurriyat has been marginalized. And all these people who are saying, I can take the name, Mahbooba Mufti was saying, कि झंडे को कंधा लगाने वाला कोई नहीं मिलेगा 370 अगर हटा दिया क्या हुआ nothing. India is a capable and a new resurgent India. We can handle it, and we are handling it very well. So there has been a total transition and transformation from what was there at that time, what was there in during the middle period, and what is the status as of now.
That's very insightful, sir. Sir, I mean, did you notice any difference in the change of the locals' behavior from the time when you said, right from Banihal onward, they would put Pakistani flags and people would not really respect the army? And just about 2 years back or so, I believe Burhan Wani's father had unfurled the national flag in a school, in fact, on 15th August. I mean, so do you think there's been a slight change in the attitude of people over there towards by when they had anti-India sentiments towards integrating into us?
It's a very good question, I would say, Ali. Uh, I coined this word agitational terrorism, and I was asked by some journalist that a senior officer like him, he shouldn't have said because agitation is a democratic right of everyone, and he cannot call it terrorism. So I'd answered that yes, it is a democratic right to agitate, freedom of speech is there. But the moment you take law into your hand, you are to be dealt from an angle of law. And that was the terrorism in the form of stone throwing. Now, I'll tell you, I can afford to share now that when the agitation was going, army never got involved, incidentally. Army never got involved. We had our own way of resolving the issue. I carried out a psychological campaign in the outside areas of because it is all along the road. And there we told the people that if in case you send your children out there at the behest of a few who are being paid, and your child goes over there, he may not come back. He is an innocent. But just हजूम का जो वो ज्वाइन करने का नशा होता है, हजूम में जाइए वहां पे, गोली चली तो you will lose your son. And you take it from me that majority of the people out there in the villages, the elders, the parents, they stop the children and wards going for stone pelting, and that's how it went down. Now there has been a change. People are realizing you try anything. Who's suffering? The families. Stone pelting. You find buns being called. Who's suffering? The children who study, the schools. They were closed. People want jobs. They don't want the children to die. Has there been any stone pelting after 370? No. It's a master stroke. People are realizing. And believe you me, as a Northern Army commander, I won't go into the various details. I used to get feedback even from the taxiwala to the end chap. I used to say, how do you feel? That chap used to be asked, how do you feel about the stone throwing? कहता हमारी रोजी रोटी मारी जा रही है. दुकानदार जो था, the terrorists used to come, or these chaps, stone throwing throwers rather, shutter band karo, and they would tell our very chaps कि डंडा मारो जी, इसको खुलाइए आप, shutter को खोलिए. So people never wanted to join. They were under coercion. But now they have realized there's no point following the diktats of these chaps and suffer and see a generation coming up without employment, without education. And the armies played a very major role in showing to the younger lot what India is by taking them out in Sadbhavna. People come and they spread the word. When they say when India so much is there, why are we being denied? Just because Pakistan wants it. So it's been reversed now. The people have started asking questions. Why should I go to Pakistan where rice is 400 rupees a kg? And I'm getting it at such a cheap rate over here. So there has been a lot of change. People have started understanding, they have started cooperating, and there have been a lot of hard end operations which have been launched because of the specific input being given by the civilians. So they're fed up. And let me define a slight difference in what people probably, they know, of course, people are very well educated. We call them terrorists, some call them insurgents. Now, a terrorist, his basic theme is to create a fear psychosis, terrorize the mind. In the 5th century, you had Sakari, the knife man. Then you had Bombay, you had a person like Raman Raghav, used to smash the heads in Bombay. And he was a terrorist because he was psychologically dislocating a person's mind. He was scared thereafter to even go out. Insurgent is a movement. There's a difference between terrorism and insurgency. Some people say it is insurgency. No, it's not an insurgency. In insurgency, you don't kill your own people rampantly. You carry them along as part of the movement. So this is the sheer terrorist activity which is there. And the people, they are being shot, they're being killed. There was a girl in south of Pir Panjal. Her tongue was chopped off, her ears were cut. So these kind of things, they have raped, they have these terrorists, they have killed our people. So people are understanding. And there is some, when I was in the MI, there was something which we did, and I can't share it. But the result was, short period, that the people used to come and tell us beforehand. Earlier, they used to welcome these chaps. But then there was something we did, and they started informing us beforehand, today the terrorists are going to come into the village, because they started feeling the pain and the heat. So that heat has been revived again. People do not want to be part of that malaise which exists on account of terrorism.
So, of late, we have seen the concentration towards Poonch, Rajouri belt, that side, that's towards Jammu. Earlier, the entire action used to happen towards the valley, towards Srinagar, Baramulla, around that area, but Pulwama. But now the focus, perhaps, it seems to have come towards more towards Jammu side, Poonch, Rajouri. Do you think? What do you think, according to you, could be the reason for that, sir?
You see, in stratagem, a fixed path is the worst path. You must keep switching. You must start creating decision dilemmas. Things are happening over there, now start over there. Oh my God, it started there also. It started here also. So that decision dilemma has to be created. But if you keep following over there in that area itself, then it's not the correct line. The Pakis, they obviously, uh, they're experts in terrorism, and they would like to create new dots or activate old dots so that the focus shifts. The focus shifts. Obviously, not that there is any laxity south of Pir Panjal. With confidence, I can say, because no one wants to die. Incidentally, this is all hogwash. When people, unfortunately, they comment, no, 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 they're a failure of this, they're a failure of that, etc. You mean to say people want to die? No, no one wants to die. He takes full precaution. But things happen because that terrorist has got the factor of initiative. He can strike when and where. He can decide for himself. Even single terrorists, well, he can create a problem. So it happens that way. So these chaps are just shifting the arena. Like they shifted in 2000 from north of Pir Panjal to south of Pir Panjal. That time, the focus primarily was towards the east of the highway, and of course, Gul Gulabgarh and that area, and slightly towards Rajouri side, Mendar, Valloi Gap coming in, etc. But Kishtwar, Bhadrawa, that became the main thing because of the seven passes which are there, five passes, Zintan, etc. So you must create an optical illusion. यहाँ भी है, वहाँ भी हो रहा है, वहाँ भी चल रहा है, so that there is a decision dilemma in the mind of the people, and you show to the world that आप कह रहे हैं हजूर ये जहाँ पे मुस्लिम लोग हैं और कश्मीर वैली में ज्यादा वहीं हो रहा है, नहीं भाई, पूरे JNK के लोग जो है वो साउथ ऑफ फिर पंजाल में आप देखिए वहां तो मुस्लिम की तादाद कम है, लेकिन वहां भी ये हो रहा है। ये तो पूरे JNK में हो रहा है, सिर्फ कश्मीर में नहीं हो रहा है। So this is the kind of strategy they play. This should be understandable, and we should expect it. We should
So,
expect it.
So there's a very good insight you have thrown upon, sir. So we can see some very good declarations behind you, sir. I think if I'm right, they're your PSM, your AVSM bar which you got twice, your VSM, and I also see GOC-in-C Eastern Command's commendation card on top. Am I right?
Yes,
And
yes,
right,
you're
sir.
right. Yeah,
Sir.
you're
And of course, the GOC-in-C, the Eastern Command Army Commander's commendation card you got on top. The other decorations, if I would be right in presuming that you got them all in Valley, sir.
right. No, I got my VSM. Those are tough times. There were hardly any awards which were given, and I got my VSM in the Valley, the battalion commander. Then I got AVSM as a corps commander while commanding 4 corps in Tejpur. Then I got my bar to AVSM while commanding our common division 10 div in J&K, and I was fortunate to get the PVSM when I was the Army Commander R track. So that's it.
Sir. And sir, and I can also see some very nice swords, and I know you have a beautiful knife collection, Skinner's knife you have. So, and
Oh,
you are. Sir,
slight
I
insight, if you wish to.
sir.
I lost my elder brother. Uh, he was 1960 commissioned, 7 Cavalry. We lost him in 65 war. And as you're seeing the few medals on top, they are some of my brother who got martyred. And down below to that is my father's medals. The first one is, of course, that of independence, that takes priority. The second one is 1930-31, Northwest Frontier. And then you have the Africa Star, then the Burma Star, where he got wounded too. Then you have 39-45 Star in Southeast Asia, Singapore, etc. And the sword which is there is a samurai. My father's body was found after 3 days. He was that time in Pavox, Prince Albert Victor's own cavalry, which went 11 cav, which went to Pakistan. His body was found after 3 days, and he was the lone survivor. Um, I mean, the rest were killed. So this was that time presented by Brigadier Vaughan or someone, the brigade commander, the officer whom my father had killed. The officer's body was lying on the trench. And below that is a small Dai katana, which is just a collector's item. I got it from Spain. And below that is a Russian which sword, which the bourgeois class, they wear it during their marriages, etc. So they carry this short sword. I've been fond of swords, and I had Sikh troops on the flanks. They've given me the Soropas, which I honor and I respect them and place them with a lot of respect.
So, so that's you come from a hardcore Fauji family, and I'm sure your son, Colonel Uday Jaswal, will carry the baton forward, sir. Thank you very. He's a very very dear friend of mine, and I'm very much in touch with him. I still call him Bunny, sir. I still refer
Yes,
to him
of
by his
course. Yeah, yeah.
nickname, sir. Thank and sir. One before I let you go, last thing. At the age of 71, couple of years back, you set up, I would say, a world record in shooting. You are an
No, no,
avid
no, no.
shooter.
There is a tinge of a bit of exaggeration. Someone had put it there. There are a lot
Till
of,
Vinod Bhatia tweeted, sir, at the
I
age of
know,
21, sir,
he's
sir.
a good friend, so I think exaggeration is the essence of good conversation. Not that. I had qualified for the nationals, but yes, after retirement, I've got 4 gold medals at the national level. I've set a new national record for veterans in double trap. And that year I had qualified for the nationals, but I missed out because I suffer from diabetes, so it was fluctuating. So that has an effect. That day it was fluctuating. My score went down. I was shooting well otherwise. I'm now running 73. and I'm participating this year again in the senior veterans category again in skeet. Just a passion, just a
Sir, you
passion.
are so inspiring, such an inspiration, sir. Really, sir,
So
thank you so much for your time. Truly grateful, sir. You have taken out such time for me, sir. And it's been my honor, sir. I mean, those years serving
yeah,
in 10 div with you at the GOC, sir, trust me. Trust me, I got to learn so much, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
thank you so much, and I'm so happy
Sir,
talking to you and as a colleague, and I'm so proud of you. And I always have highest of regards both for your father and mother. They're wonderful people. Give my regards to them.
thank you very
Great
much, sir.
talking to you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Jai Hind, sir. Thank you. I